It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days show on... Are you going to click it, Justin?
Sorry.
We are Dishin Days show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you not follow us, but subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also take a gander at all the many episodes that we have, plus some bonus interviews and events that we have been to. So check it all out on our YouTube channel, Dishin Days, and don't forget to comment on the things that you like. We're also on your favorite podcast stations. If you want to take us along on that car ride, or while you're stuck in traffic, or while you're walking children through nature, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just follow us, Dishin Days, on your favorite podcast station or wherever podcasts can be found. Also, make sure you show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr. over at JLJ Media, who is serving up a couple of plates, spoons, and forks of his own. He has original audio dramas, including recaps of the other soap operas, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Bold and the Beautiful. So make sure you check it out and also find him on your favorite podcast station, because James Lott Jr. is the only person I know who was friends with B. Arthur when she was young. That makes him a golden girl as well. And make sure you tell us your thoughts all throughout the show. And also, if you're watching us later, comment below and let us know what you thought as well. Hi, everybody. We're starting late. It's my fault because I wasn't ready.
The summer heat has made us all loopy.
I don't know about loopy. It's just hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's sticky. We're all over the place.
All over something. Well, what did y'all think of this week's episodes of Days?
Really good.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously, Friday was the big one where we got not one but two Whoppers. But this whole week was just like, yes, we're going full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the writers are like, okay, we're comfortable now. I feel like they've been like taking like the red pen and kind of clearing out stuff that they didn't want, or changing things and getting back in the driver's seat, so to speak. And
I tell you, it's tying everything up in a bow. It's like they got back to work and said, "Where are we? Got it.
Yeah,
let's get this. We're gonna hear." And so this week, I think it was a lot of preparation for next week, and also again just kind of slowly moving things along so that way we can I don't want to say be done, but kind of get things back into a different direction, if I can say.
Was it slow though? I don't know, either that or just July just crept up on us. All of a sudden I blinked and it's July. It's summer.
Yeah. It didn't creep up on us. Like it came in slow and steady. And then the clock struck midnight and suddenly it was July 1st. And you're like, oh, we're already really halfway through the year?
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're not halfway through this show. So let's move on, shall we? It is now time to start Dishin Days. Close enough. Set it and forget it. Let's talk about our very first storyline, which is the women of DiMera Enterprises.
I'll call it. This is a train wreck waiting to happen.
I don't even know if it's gonna... The train may just not stop at the station, especially what happened Friday. It's just gonna keep it moving.
Whew.
I like this configuration though.
I mean, it kind of makes sense where a little bit. I mean, if people had to land with a job, if EJ wasn't DA, you know, he would be CEO.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either way, they would still need to appoint like a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The trouble with this is that these are all, everybody involved in all the DiMera women involved in DiMera this week are highly intelligent, highly capable women who are totally up for any job. The problem is not a one of them knows how to share.
I mean, no one in the DiMera family knows how to share.
I think Ava will be fine playing whatever part is hers. I don't think she has aspirations of taking over DiMera, or at least that's not what we've seen. I think she's happy to be a part of the party, so to speak.
Yes, but she just doesn't have a history of playing well with others. And neither does Melinda.
I don't know.
They're all like there to a point. And the point, I guarantee you, the breaking point is always going to be Kristen, because she's everyone's breaking point.
I think Ava. It should be fine because she worked with Stefan on with the bistro. And remember when totally forgot she was with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
But when she was with Jake and you know, Gabi like faked the shares or whatever, she went along with that plan and worked well with them. So I think whatever role she gets, you know, she'll work well with others.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mark J. Freeman. Just let Chad run it all. Dear God. Have you caught up? Have you watched this week?
You know that Chad runs things smoothly. There would be nothing to talk about if Chad ran everything. Because he actually knows what the heck he's doing. He works with Xander. He's partners with Xander, for Christ's sake. And there's no drama there, which is a miracle in and of itself.
Oh, I think this is how everyone feels. Jason, I think Jose says, I'm still trying to figure out Melinda working for her daughter's killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is another reason I say I don't see any of this ending well.
I don't know. I think she could work for her. Not that like they'll be best friends, but I think she'll be fine there.
Yeah. It's just, this company is just so full of like do-si-do moments that I'm just like, if I wasn't a DiMera and I worked there, I would be on Indeed looking for a new job.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I think they need to move forward with this though. Enough with the like musical chairs. Like give these women a storyline, a business storyline, or like have that be the backdrop of whatever storyline you're giving them. Don't just let it be another 2 weeks from now, Stefan's going to be plotting to steal it. And then, you know, then he's going to cut out Kristen and Ava and, you know, Melinda's going to be on his side now. Like, don't let us have this version of DiMera run by all the women and let's see what that looks like.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just thought about, if Beyond Salem, if it ever came back, would, instead of it being like, well, it can incorporate some of the people from Days, but again, what if it was like the people who lived in Salem? Like, I would love to see how Rita would react to Kristen now as CEO, or like a junior associate at Titan, you know, dealing with Alex.
Oh God, that's a. Can we stick to one train wreck at a time, please?
I don't know. It'll be fine. But it just feels like a lot happening within the DiMeras, especially with like, you know, Kristen being CEO and Stefan blackmailing EJ.
Yeah.
Stefan then telling Gabby what she was
Yeah.
blackmailing, you know, EJ. It was just like,
I was surprised about that. I thought they would keep that going for a little while longer. I was surprised he was like, okay, I'll tell you, basically.
and then she went up. We can talk about that
No,
now,
it's that.
right?
Yeah, it's this one.
She
It's this
went
one.
up to the press conference, did not want to acknowledge EJ at all, but just
Oh,
basically
oh no.
said, "That ain't your baby."
Mhm.
I was
Did
waiting.
did anyone, when it cut to Nicole, did anyone feel so sorry for Nicole?
Oh, I didn't even.
I didn't feel
Yeah.
sorry for Nicole. True, only because I don't feel like I had the chance to. I think on Monday, when the truth is finally out and confirmed, and it'll hit everybody that that's it. That the last of the secrets is out. It'll hit, but I think it just it happened so fast
What for me,
to
it was
catch my breath.
instant. As soon as she said that, and it cut to Nicole, and she had that kind of what kind of moment.
Uh-huh.
My initial thought was, damn, they putting her through something else again.
Yeah.
Like, geez, like she just got over, you know, the death of well, the death of her son,
Mhm.
then realizing her son was Jude. Holly, like, it's
Eric's
a
leaving.
lot.
Yeah.
But this isn't bad drama. I feel like once she gets over the initial shock, this will be, of course, the biggest relief. She has a baby with the love of her life. So this isn't. I think it's. I really think it's more the shock of the moment of just how quickly and how suddenly everything happened.
Sure, it can be shocked, but it's still a lot for a person
Yeah.
to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your oldest child nearly dying, and then having to protect her, having to see her lie again and sneaking around and doing all that, thinking, getting over the grief of your baby dying, then finding out that the baby's actually alive, and that, you know, and then now having to deal with the fact that, oh, it's actually not your husband's baby, but it's actually Eric's baby. It like,
Mhm.
that's team too much.
I gotta say, Sherry was like, she like completely owned that scene, and I was glad that they gave her something. I think I messaged when our chat of like,
Yeah.
this is how you do a recast. Like, give them
Mm-hmm.
something that they can kind of like sink their teeth into. Like, let them act, let them like ingratiate themselves to everyone. Don't just kind of bring them on and have them kind of all over the place.
Can we talk about Sherry for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, soap fans can be relentless, and soap fans can voice their opinion. And listen, I always say, and I will never forget, when Stacey Hyde took over Kristen, I was like, at first, very like, I don't know, let me see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I instantly fell in love with her when she was first on as Susan and then Kristen. And I was like, I get it. Um, Here is what I will say about Sherry. Um, I always love an actress or an actor who is recast in a role, who has done their homework and knows the foundation of the character. You
Mm-hmm.
still see and hear Gabby and Gabby isms that Camila gave to Gabby. But Sherry is now able to come in and put herself
Mhm.
into this role. So I think what she's doing now, and especially like having to come in and get out of jail. Now you got to do it with your man in the shower, and now you got to be a part of this big storyline. As an actor coming in, that is a lot to have to be a part of. But I think she's handling it
Yeah.
very well, and she is really taking on the reins as Gabby, and she's doing a great job. So to that I say, fans sometimes, because fans are already like, she ain't good. It's like she ain't
Is
been
that
on
what people
screen
say?
yet.
I don't know what people want if she's not good enough. I don't know what she's doing.
They want a copycat, and Sherry is not Camila, and she's not pretending to be. She is stepping into the role, and thus far is doing a good job. The most important tenets of taking on a role like this are: do you have chemistry with the other characters? Do you respect the history of the character that you're playing? And do you have the opportunity to make it your own? And right now, she is hitting all three.
Because we all remember that one person that came on as a recast of a very popular character and was nowhere in the realm, in the vicinity, around the river bend, within 50 miles of said character.
Oh, God.
Literally the definition of, I'm just going to do it how I want to do it.
Yes. And look, and look, guys, the beauty of soaps is that if, God forbid, a mistake is made, you do have the opportunity to course correct. Yeah. But in case you guys haven't noticed, that hasn't happened on Days in a significantly long amount of time. And this is why we say, in Marnie we trust.
Yeah.
Also remember too, some of your favorite people or characters are recast themselves. Even though you've been watching them for X amount of years, they may not have originated that role. So take that into consideration when someone is recast. Like,
Lauren Koslow being the perfect example.
Oh yeah.
There's only 80% of the show is recast. There's like 5 actors on the show who were the original characters. A lot of other people have been recast. Yeah. You may not think about it because the person's been in the role for so long, but yeah, that doesn't negate the fact that they weren't a recast.
Yeah, and everybody's calling out Dan. Oh my God, when Dan Fiero Girl came onto the scene as EJ, we were stunned. It was actually stunning how he took the expectations of such a heavy role as EJ DiMera and just ran with it.
We just didn't like his hair.
No. His hair, okay, yeah, his hair in the beginning was not great.
It was like, what Justin Bieber swoop are we giving him?
Yeah, no. It was a bit much. But 2 months in, they got rid of it, and we're like, yes, this is everything. He had chemistry with freaking everyone.
Yeah, it's like right now. It's like with the recast, it's like an evolution of Gabi, right? I think Camila left the foundation for where to take Gabi, and now Sherry, having spent 8 months, Gabi spending 8 months in prison, that is a perfect opportunity to come back and still have a foundation, but really like take the character somewhere else. So,
and let's not forget that Camila really didn't have too much of a foundation to work with in the beginning when she started the role, because she started the role as basically a kid. She was playing a very young adult with, yes, family on the screen, but basically just a student, normal person. She didn't really have that much to work with aside from a closeted gay boyfriend. And the evolution that character took in the almost 15 years that she was in the role was astounding.
Well, she went from high school senior photo to, headshot at DiMera Enterprises. So, that's quite an evolution.
Yeah.
So
do we want Kristen to add her to the roster?
Add Gabi?
Or is that too much? Should we leave it with just Ava and Belinda?
I just don't know that. I just don't know what the motivation would be to do so, because she has zero love or trust for Gabi.
Yeah, I see that. That to me would be the adversarial one that I wouldn't trust. But I trust Kristen and Melinda more so than I trust Kristen and Gabi.
But I want Gabi to have Gabi Chic back.
I think that's where they should do with her. And they brought that up right this week. I thought someone was mentioning that, of like talking about her, and I was like, oh yes, that's right. She had Gabi Chic, and that was such a big part of her personality and who she was, and get back to that.
Yeah, I would love to see Gabby Chic back. Maybe they can put Gabby Chic where Sweet Bits was.
Wow.
I
My
look back
street was
there.
closed. I know.
I look back there and there's like 4 leads, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like you you didn't hire a manager? Like there's no one that could have like kept Sweet Bits running? Like
It was closed like the next day. Like who gets out?
Oh, it'll be open again by next week.
it
Oh
anyway.
my god.
So we touched on it. The conference where, everything was beginning to be spilt. I don't know. I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time to have that secret out. I feel like it's time to have EJ crack a little bit, because trying to keep up with all those situations was a lot.
He was working for it. When he said, "I'll give up the shares," I was kind of like, "Oh wow, you're
Idiot. I'm sorry, but that's the point where you're like, okay, you're literally giving up everything.
I do like when he was like, "Oh no, don't make a mistake. I'm keeping the dividends. Like I'm still keeping my money, but I'll give you
That
voting rights."
was the other thing. Like, in order to keep what was happening, I'll give you my shares of DiMera. It's like, girl, you was trying to steal everybody else's shares. Now you just want to give yours up.
That part I like, because I was like, at least then we're not gonna get a DiMera, another CEO war of like shares. I was like, okay, he officially gave them up. Kristen has them now. Let's stick with that for a while.
Yeah. I'm just sad that this is the end of EJ and Nicole.
Yeah.
Not being biased or anything. It's just who I like.
I'm not. I'm glad. Hopefully, we will see enough of the dramatic Eric and Nicole scenes of them longing, them awkwardly petting each other, them looking for a reason to be in each other's orbit, and just put them together and do what you will with them.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for that storyline, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move it right along to Honey the Killer. Didn't see that one coming.
No.
Okay.
Thoughts. We have thoughts.
First and foremost, I would like to start off by saying I am very happy to see Julie Dove back as Connie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I completely understand her excitement at this moment, because as a fan whose dream is it to be on your favorite show, she is living that at the moment. The fact that they keep expanding Connie, I love that. Love to see it. Happy that she's getting like a meaty storyline. So congratulations, Julie Dove. As a watcher, I was confused because when she popped up, and it was almost kind of being like, I'm glad to see that, people who had nothing to do with this murder, like things are going right. And then it was like, wait, you're renting the apartment wait, you killed Leanne?
Oh, is she renting the apartment? Okay.
She walked in.
No,
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't think that was. But I didn't pick up on that. I just thought like she had a key because she killed him or something. But no, if that's the thing, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
So Justin, so she was just, like, you just because. Okay, wait.
Wait, what do you think?
Wait.
What do you?
I'm trying to now figure out your train of thought of like, Because I was just like, oh, she lives there, which is weird. But you just thought, oh, she still has a key from when she killed Lee, so she just wanted to go back to the scene of the crime?
Yeah. That's weirder than she now lives in the apartment that she killed someone in. That's normal. What?
Both are equally weird, but I would just think that you would think that, oh, she lives there, not that, oh, she still
no,
has
I
a key,
didn't
so
even-
she's going to visit like it's a museum?
I mean, I'm thinking also she was already a character, so now the story is she now has moved into the apartment. Like that's a whole nother not leap of faith, but that's a whole nother part to the story as opposed to she just has a key to the place.
Right. But I'm curious how this is going to pan out, because at the moment, it's always a rock and a hard place where all parties involved and you don't want to sound mean. But at the moment, I just don't understand why we're pinning Connie as the killer of Lee when she had so much she was feeling Lee, like she was just upset that Melinda was not seizing the opportunity because he still loved her. And I'm gonna be a fan with open arms and see how this turns out. But as soon as that flashback happened, I was like, well, what'd you do that for?
Look, I'm gonna tie this up in a bow real quick. She's a stalker.
Okay, don't call it body.
She's a stalker.
Oh.
Period.
She's
one of those crazy people that you see on Dateline.
Is she what's that Netflix thing called? About
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Is it Baby Reindeer?
Oh, Baby Reindeer, yeah.
Baby Reindeer,
Is she the baby reindeer of
Yes,
Salem?
she is. Yes, she is.
Oh,
I'm calling it right now.
I love that. I actually love this part of it. I'm sorry. I know some people are like, what's going on with this storyline? I love it. I like the fact of introducing a character that we sort of barely knew, or not introducing, but bringing back a character we sort of barely knew and really delving into it. I'm also questioning the killed part. I personally I never thought Lee Shin was dead. I still don't think he's dead. I think this is a beginning to an interesting storyline with Connie. So, and I don't know if what we saw means what people think, if that makes sense. I don't know if Connie is a killer. It's hard
to unsee her stabbing him in the back. So we know that happened.
Well, I believe that. I don't know if that is part of a plan. Remember how before we were like, did Lee Shin set up his own death?
Right.
I think Connie, my thinking now that when I watched it, I was like, oh, are they in cahoots together? Is she a stalker who wanted him? And I still think he's alive, so calling her a killer doesn't make sense. So I think they're either in cahoots together or she has him locked up somewhere. I don't think he's dead.
Like a Misery type of a thing.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking with her.
But even the way that, because, I mean, Connie was an interesting character when we first saw her, right? But we just thought, oh, lonely woman in Salem trying to date, girl, we get it. We've been there. But when she popped up and she was like saying stuff, I was like, Connie seems a little...
Did you
what?
No,
she's crazy.
When she did that first one, Julie Dove did that, and I'm assuming the director sort of told her. She did this thing where she did this weird move where she either jerked around or she jerked her head around. When she did that, something about that was she's the killer. It tipped me off to that. It was so fun. It was kind of a funny move, but it was also I could tell that was an intentional way to either move or exit the scene. She was just kind of okay, and then did this weird thing, and I was like, is she the killer? And my mind started going there, and then when it happened, I was like, okay, this is where we're going here.
I mean, it's almost like when someone, for lack of a better terms, is a little off, and they come up and they're like,
right.
I'm sorry, I stole your cookie. And they just like walk
Yeah.
away. And it's
Because
like,
now you have to go in the other direction.
Yeah. No, this is also kind of giving me that when Jan Spears killed Charlie, it was kind of like, okay, but let's see how this like it doesn't make sense at the surface, but it's like, okay, let's see how they put this together. I'm kind of interested how they're gonna put it together, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely it's gonna be interesting. I just wasn't expecting that at all. And so when I saw it, I was like, what?
I will say I like this over the random idea that Gil killed him, and then Clyde wasn't. You know what I mean?
It's just as random.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's even more random.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we could maybe understand, like if Gil killed Lee because maybe he came there for Ava but Lee was there and they got into a tussle and he like stabbed him and like left. Like okay, that makes sense. But it's like, Connie, what were you doing there? Like, were y'all in a fuss mint? Almost compared it to so bad.
Don't say it then.
Well, now you have to say it.
Oh, now you want me to say it, Araceli? How many times have you? Nope, I'm not saying it. Lucky for you, I'm not you. I almost compared it to Selena and Yolanda Saldivar.
Blasphemy!
Where like Selena went there for a meeting.
Oh, blasphemy! Oh,
and then Yolanda did that. Like,
yeah, we're still not over it.
Is
No.
Connie the
It's
Yolanda
been 30 years and
Lee?
it's still too soon.
Oh,
It's still too soon.
Listen, side note, like, she gets out on parole soon. I'm like,
Bite
girl,
your tongue.
if I were you, I wouldn't even walk out the jail. I'm like, keep me here.
Oh, people are already like, it's on site. They're going to be waiting for her. Yeah.
Blasting Selena songs with bats and knives and like in cartoons when they depict gangs and they're like swooping like the nunchuck thing and like they got like the brass knuckles and stuff. Like that's what I imagine people being.
Somebody finding all of the anvils and throwing them on her like Wile E. Coyote.
Speaking of the other portion of this, other side of this killing,
Bobby talking about I can help you solve a case, a murder. Bobby is crazy.
I kind of like Bobby. I'm like, can we just be Bobby?
This whole
you so nasty
category, this whole part of what we are talking about, this subject is all about the crazy today.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say more.
I was going to say, listen, I want to say it's Jada's best pairing, this chemistry she has with Bobby.
I mean, listen, I say Bobby is crazy, but the whole time he was talking, I was just like, I mean, he is kind of cute though.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people end up in toxic relationships.
I know, because it's just like there's something about the crazy that it's one of two things. It's either creepy or hot.
So, okay, riddle me this. Did we figure out who's the?
Yes, they confirmed it this week.
I don't know why, because I don't know why.
They confirmed it, but the previous evidence now is like null and void. I felt like because they like switched it. Because remember originally it was Steve found all this paperwork about Bobby, and we were like, oh, Bobby's the person and Everett's the alter. But this week they were sort of confirming that Everett's the alter, and Bobby. So no, sorry, that Everett
Bobby's is the host, and Bobby is the alter.
Is the alter, yeah. So basically, Everett grew up as the child, experienced traumatic event, and then Bobby came in as a personality to shield Everett from from bad, basically.
You know what? It kind of makes sense because Everett is so kind and loving and
Yeah,
and not that he doesn't have a backbone, but like Bobby seems like I'll cut a bitch. You know what I mean? Like whereas Everett's like, hold on, calm down, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And Bobby is like,
yeah. So like Bobby's the like tough bodyguard, essentially, like protecting.
Yeah, this is very much, this is giving me very strong One Life to Live flashbacks. Another callback to Ron's past writing gigs, but this is giving me very strong One Life to Live flashbacks of the Jess and the Tess, if anybody remembers that. Very much one day just the stronger personality just kind of showed up, and then you're like, oh.
It's just going to be interesting to see how all of that is connected. But Bobby is holding strong because Stephanie couldn't get him to unlock Everett. Jada can't, and sometimes Jada is looking at Bobby like, I've been a nasty girl.
Right.
I've been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty girl.
Y'all, it's hot outside.
I'm just saying. But I did appreciate the moment where Bobby is sitting there like working out. What?
I'm picturing Blake doing the dance. You know how that original guy was like thin and tall? Dylan, are you getting on that? You superimpose Blake's face over.
Oh no!
If Dylan finds that viral video of that guy and puts Elia and Blake's face over it,
oh my god!
I will lose it. I will lose it.
Oh god, no, I'm hot.
I've been a nasty girl. I can't.
I'm just kidding. I can't breathe just thinking about it.
We'll have it by 6 o'clock.
Probably. We'll have it while we're still on the show.
Yeah.
I did appreciate the moment where we could hear Everett in Bobby's head.
Oh yeah.
Kind of being like, you gotta let me out. Ooh. But and I will say I'm also glad that while it's it's another, almost said DIY. It's another DID storyline, but it's very different.
Yeah, so different.
It's very different in the sense of there's only two, and there's control over it.
Yeah.
And Bobby has a lot of control over and is very protective of Everett, which I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, on the practical side of things, however, let's go back in time just a bit. Okay? So Lee was killed September of last year. And BOBERETTE, or maybe just the personality of Bobby, whoever was the showed up, didn't appear until November of last year. So that gives that's a significant 2-month gap. So it's kind of a lot to play with to say that basically the assumption is he was hanging around for months before revealing himself. Yes.
Or it could be one of those where Bobby solved it, maybe, or like, I don't know. I mean, whatever their connection is, we don't know. Either he was, like you said, he was around and he was probably not Everett then. Maybe it was Bobby who was around for a couple of months.
Yeah, but there was a significant chunk of time between A and B. So I'm not, either either that he was lying in wait for all that time, whichever personality was dominant at that point, or he's just full of it, just saying whatever he can to keep Jada on the ropes.
He was,
or Bobby solved the crime and he knows who did it. Like, I mean,
he was in the secret privacy area where they have all their conversations in the park.
Right. Yeah,
Doing
we're gonna
TikTok. Been a nasty girl. Nasty. No, I can't get that out of my mind.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's it for that storyline, right? We'll just see how once again, it's one of those days moments where we have dots. We have new dots, ladies and gentlemen. And now we have to connect the dots. La, 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 la. I wonder how long is it going to take for us to connect the dots, though?
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Let's go over to Money and the Two Alexanders.
At this point, I no longer care that Teresa manipulated Alex. I feel bad for Xander and all of this, but when Alex eventually realizes the truth, I feel zero sympathy.
Yeah.
The way this show is setting up Alex to fall flat on his face, I'm just like, shady. Because he's like, he's puffed up his chest a little bit.
A little.
But he knows that he's starting to suspect something is a little off with Teresa. Because all those flashbacks with him talking to Brady and everything like that, like, he's kind of like, did she not know? Starting to be a little suspicious. Also, I would like to say, Maggie, if you are so, if you just need to give away money, I will gladly send my address so that you can send me the check. Because this is now the second check that Maggie has tried to give Xander and Sarah, and the second check that they have not accepted. And this check had a lot of zeros. And he still said no.
Maybe it's something about Maggie handing him a check. I don't know why. I feel like Maggie just gives Xander all of the love and support and understanding that he never received from Victor or from his mother or from anyone. So I think that's a big part of it. That it's like he feels like accepting any kind of money from Maggie feels like almost too much. Like he would accept something like that from anybody else except for Maggie.
I just feel like the first time it was because of his ego. As a man, he wanted to be able to provide for Sarah. So I think it was his ego. And now I feel like this time the reason why is because he doesn't feel like he ever got the respect from Victor.
Yeah.
Or that Victor liked him. And so he was just kind of like, I don't want this man's money. All money ain't good money.
Yeah. I wish he would have, he kept tying it to himself in a way. Yeah, right. And it was like, okay, but you're a completely different person now. So I don't know if that sort of reasoning still applies. Like, you know what I mean? Like Maggie, she wouldn't have gave it to him if he was still sort of up to his old tricks and doing those sort of things. But I think we've come now farther along where we know Xander has turned a corner. Not that he's like a saint or anything. We saw the stuff with Constantine, but he's also in a much different place than he used to be. And he's matured. He's evolved a bit, not a ton, but a bit. And it's like, okay, like you can you're not that person anymore, so you can kind of take this check and you're going to do right by the money and enjoy it.
Yeah, but I don't know that he wants to give himself that kind of an out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, he was right about everything. That he and Sarah are in a good place. He's working. By some miracle, he manages to work well with people who used to despise him. They have a beautiful, healthy child. For what need do they need that money? And Maggie will probably just put it in a trust for Victoria. No harm, no foul.
She gave it back to Justin.
And I think she gave back to Justin, but that money's not just going to be sitting somewhere in limbo. I think Maggie will probably, when she revises her own will probably just put it in a trust for Victoria.
I'll take it off their hands.
Yeah.
Let me have that.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Now on the other side of this,
let me get that.
We've agreed that Alex is scum and he's treating Justin like scum. Yeah. So I don't feel sorry for him.
I wouldn't say scum. I would just say disrespectful. Scum sounds very dirty. I think he's just being very disrespectful. I think he's being disrespectful at the fact of now just trying to act like Justin was never a father to him.
Yeah,
and keeps making a point to say Justin.
I hate to say this and I hate to stereotype, but I'm going to, just because it was the first thing that came up to my mind, and several people commented on it this week, and I'm just like, the way that would not fly in a Latino household. And all I can think is like, oh my God, if somebody tried to pull that in my house, do you know how fast I would whip out my chancla? I hate to be a stereotype, but it's a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had given them a conflict early on, like maybe something to do with Victor or something with the business that would kind of explain this a little more. But for him to just he essentially turns on Justin, it sort of makes no sense. There's no acknowledgement, and it's also the thing of he didn't have what's her name? God, why am I forgetting her name? Angelica around.
Yeah.
So he was raised by Adrian and Justin. So you're gonna completely turn your back on Justin now, the way you're talking to him, the way you're treating. I could see him struggling with maybe saying dad and dealing with that portion of it. That sort of makes sense for someone to do, to be like, okay, do I still call him dad? Do we revert to being cousins now? That I understand, but he just sort of disregards him in a weird way.
This is the man who raised this is the man who raised him.
Yeah, it just doesn't, I mean, even from a character standpoint, it's like, okay, I know you're trying to make him do this fall, and again, the reveal that, oh God, he is Justin's son is, whatever, coming, but it's weird. I don't know. It's a little too heavy-handed. I wish they would have given them a conflict to kind of fight over or something.
Something that made him I don't know, but I just feel like the way their relationship was, it would have had to be something so awful to make him want to disown his dad.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Justin, sorry, go ahead.
That's it. Just
I was gonna say, I think if maybe Justin came to him, it was maybe not wanting him to take after Victor too much, and everything Justin knows about Victor to be you may not want to emulate your dad so much. I could see Alex maybe giving him resistance to that and being well, Victor's my father, not you. I could see that being a little bit of a conflict with them, but out of nowhere, it's just, he's you're not my dad, you're Justin. I'm not even going to treat you nicely. That's the weird part I don't get.
As if it's his fault. He was lied to too.
Yeah, there's no sympathy for what he's going through either. Or,
it's just that, a change of dynamics between them. You've lost that much respect towards the guy who who've you known as your father for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on the other side of this, was anyone surprised that Teresa agreed to sign a prenup?
No.
More so what's the real plan, girl? What's the real plan?
Yeah, because my thinking is if you're marrying him for his money, you actually do like the guy. Like, what's the harm in signing a prenup? If you know what I mean? Like, as far as we know, the plan was never for Teresa to marry him, steal his money, and divorce. Like, that was never part of it.
This is
It seems like the plan is I won't marry this guy. He has a ton of money. I'm gonna be his wife, and we're gonna make a family and a life. And so it's sort of like, what's the harm in? Honestly, I would have walked in that room and been like, "Where's the prenup?" Or I was going to suggest it. If that were me and I was being sneaky, I would have come in like, "Oh, I assumed you were going to have me sign one anyway," or like played it in a different way.
Maybe that was just her way to like throw them off too. To be
Yeah.
like, I'll sign it because I love. I mean, listen, it's Robert Scott Wilson. You can prenup, you can post nup, you can during nup. as long as that is, I'm waking up to that every morning. You can nup me in the morning.
I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for my other theory to pan out, but it'll take time.
Oh, you never said what that theory was. Can somebody pinpoint this moment of the show and then rewind back to when I said, "Ooh, I don't think I should say it," and then she was like, "Well, you gotta say it now."
No, you weren't trying to say a theory. You were saying a random thought
Now
that
just
popped
come up
into
to
your
this.
head.
Welcome back from that moment. We're still here in this moment.
I don't know. Should I say? I feel like I don't know. I kind of don't want to jinx it. That's the thing. I really want my theory to be right.
That it's a theory.
Well, it's probably already been filmed, so I think you're.
I mean, it is
Right.
a theory about Alex and Teresa.
About Teresa, Alex, and Brady. Because I feel like that's not done yet.
You have a prediction as to like how that's gonna go down?
I have a hope.
You hope that Teresa and Brady end up together?
No.
Alex and Brady? is that
okay.
Oh, no,
in the history of soap operas, guys. In the history of soap operas, where 1 + 1 = 2, and 2 + 2 = 4.
Not her taking one.
A lady sleeping with one guy, and then 24 hours later sleeping with another guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. I kind of thought that too, a pregnancy storyline.
No, thank you.
I'm just saying.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Y'all already done miscarried. Y'all could have had a baby. Y'all could have had a baby. But
yes, but as we know from the cycle of drama, happily married couples don't have the pretty, happy pregnancy right off the bat in soap operas. Now, 3 characters, who already, 2 of which already have a grown son, making mistake after mistake after mistake, that's good drama.
Twins.
I was gonna say I know. I was like, again. Not again.
Oh no! I'm not in. No, Jason. I'm not into that. That was a headache. That wasn't drama. That was a headache. Made more complicated by the fact that by the time said children were grown, they were interested in the same woman, which was I didn't think it could get more of a headache than that.
Side note, I had this thought when we were talking about, I'm going to go back a little bit. When we were talking about Nicole and Eric's baby. I really wish there was a way that they could have flashed forward to the baby Jude being like 16, 17, 18 and looking almost exactly like Greg Vaughn, and everyone being like,
I feel like no one ever addresses that on soaps about children. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, they kind of started to do it a little bit here with Roman and a couple, I think Roman and Marlena maybe, but
Marlena was like, you used to smile just like that when you were a baby.
I'm like, no one ever thinks like, oh, that person looks like you know, you look like this other guy your mother used to date. You're like,
Yeah. Also, side note, I'm sorry. Are we just? Is Sloan just gone?
I
Yes.
guess.
Yes, she's gone. Yeah.
That's how you exit.
That's how she
Yeah.
exited. Yes.
Sorry, Sloan. Hopefully she comes back.
Really? Are we sorry?
I like Sloan. Yeah.
But
Bring her back.
like you just like it's like deuces. Like you just out. Okay. Well, if you like it, I love it. Anyway, back to this storyline. Bonnie's facial expressions during the whole
Yes.
thing. Bonnie was just like, "Oh my god, Jesus, this kid."
Mm-hmm.
I love Bonnie trying to be the family peacekeeper. I like that.
There's always has to be a voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'm also like, can we bring her family back and like?
Oh, the sister.
So enmeshed in who?
Bonnie's sister.
Oh, I was thinking of the kids. Oh,
no. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. If I was in charge of that, Terrence would be around, but. So we're done with that storyline.
Okay, 4:09 p.m.
Oh, not you trying to make a marker.
Was waiting for it.
What?
Wait for what? Oh, for me to mention Terrence?
That and something else. Yes.
Okay, Saunter. Well, that's it with that storyline. And before we get into our tidbits, we're just going to do a quick reminder. Follow us on all social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also find us on your favorite podcast stations. And make sure you go show some love to our former co-host, James Lott Jr., JLJ Media on YouTube and on podcasts. Or wherever James Lott Jr.'s can be found. Let's go into our tidbits, which is, Body and Soul is canceled.
Well, we know what happens next.
Okay, first, let's address this. This was not in any way, shape, or form related to Days. Everyone was like, oh, if Body and Soul is canceled, does that mean Days is going to be canceled?
What?
Like, what lineup were we looking at? Body and Soul was a soap within a soap. It was no indication about Days, y'all.
No, guys, whenever I promise you that can't happen. You know how I know? Because the Soap Central website didn't go black. I remember distinctly the day that All My Children and One Life to Live were canceled at the same day. Literally, there was black everywhere on social media. It was the funeral to end all funerals. Everything is fine. In fact,
Days.
yes, with Days. And in fact, everything seems to be better than fine because guess what? What's gonna happen next? They're gonna bring Body and Soul over to the Midwest.
And again, this is a moment where Beyond Salem should come in. Right. And it's Kate and Abe producing Body and Soul.
This was an interesting turn. Because I think we suspected that they were going to put these two back together and work together on something, and it was like, okay, it's going to be Body and Soul, okay.
But again, this is one of those moments again where I was like, now y'all know I love me some Body and Soul, right? I mean, it got my Snaps for Life award, but I was also like, what we doing, Days? Like what does Body and Soul where are we going?
I'm thinking now, okay, is this what is this a storyline for Abe, Kate, and Johnny?
Yes, this is how we keep Johnny employed.
But is this how we get him off the show for a few months and then bring him back too?
What is he going to be go producing?
Is he going to go negotiate, do whatever as part of this team maybe?
Oh,
and then bring the show back to Salem, you know what I mean, kind of a thing, or Yeah.
Oh wait, because we never wait. Maybe
They closed that part of it out, which I thought it was going to be. I thought he had the phone. We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't.
But I'm thinking we could bring him in as the filmmaker. He can be a part of the storyline.
Yes.
I mean, he's gonna be in, yeah.
It was just very interesting to feel like Salem was real, especially when Kate was like, Soap Opera Digest just announced that Body and Soul is canceled. I was like, not the mention of Soap Opera Digest.
This storyline is going to be, again, we know Ron. We know he loves to do the wink wink, the nods. This is going to be very meta, I'm guessing, for the however long this storyline goes. We are going to get a lot of wink winks, a lot of meta about, soap operas in general. I think it's going to be interesting now too, because it's I'm guessing we're going to also see, well, of course, see the behind the scenes. So I wonder what type of commentary we are going to get on that, and how what are they going to go there about? What topics are they going to not go there about? So
will Jack A, Mary Beth, and Deidre and Lauren, and will they all be reprising their roles?
Yeah, will they pull double duty kind of thing? Huh. It's interesting. I'm into it.
Body and Soul canceled. What a mess. All right, Paulina, off the hook. I was okay. So I will say I was glad that they explained how the miscarriage happened. Again, why did we radiate Paulina? Because now the radiation has nothing to do with anything. Well, except her possible demise as a mayor, but even that.
Yeah, and it didn't create that much of a wedge with her and Chanel. Like, I thought that was going to be the storyline. It was going to cause this big like axe to their relationship, and it was what, a couple days. They fought for like a week, and now she banished her from her hospital room for a day, and like everything's fine now.
Yeah, it's just all right.
You might as well have just give Chanel an illness, or like that could have easily been the storyline too, and you would have gotten the same results without not killing a baby, but not miscarrying.
It was, guys. I mean, it was a lot of drama for truly nothing much to do about nothing. And I don't want to sound flip about a miscarriage, because it's devastating when it happens. But the explanation given was just that it's a standard miscarriage. There is no magic thing that could have happened that could have prevented it. It was just, it wasn't a pregnancy that was going to develop any further than it had. That's it. That's the long and short of it.
But did everyone catch that they said that basically when the baby was conceived, it had no chance? Something like right off the bat.
That's what a molar pregnancy is. That's just what it is.
But how come last week when she went to Dr. Mark Green with 3 E's, he said the baby was fine? So
because it's fine until it isn't.
But they said when the baby was conceived, it didn't stand a chance, or I can't remember the wording, but it was like since day numero uno, there was signs that this baby was not going to be carried to full term, and that there was going to be a miscarriage. So
that was upon having tests done on like the cellular level.
But okay,
he was basing his finding out, and he said this: everything looks good, everything looks normal, i.e. their findings are on comparing her standard ultrasound to other standard ultrasounds and just keeping an eye out for any abnormalities that could come up.
The baby had abnormalities day 1.
But not visible.
Also, there were multiple tests that had to be done because they were exposed to radiation and they had to figure that out.
Tests on her.
Why would they not test the baby?
Because it's not okay. Let me get into some biology here, guys.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
It's
because
not
all
a full
we have
size
to know, all we have to know is this. They said
it's the size of a pea, guys.
They said day 1, the baby was basically not gonna make it.
Do you want a real explanation? I'm gonna have to go into a little bit of biology if you want an actual explanation.
No, because you going into a little bit of an explanation is gonna have us here for a half an hour and still confused.
Okay, well then you're just gonna remain confused about the female anatomy.
Now, see, you trying to take it somewhere else. What I'm just saying is if during when they you have to listen to what they're saying, because I feel like this is pertinent to a probable like storyline or something that has to do with Mark Green.
Saying. Yeah, you're saying
Mark Green said the baby was fine. She had a miscarriage the next week. Then when they explained about the miscarriage, they basically said the baby wasn't going to survive, and they knew that day 1. Something is off about that.
They didn't say that they knew that day 1. They said that upon further testing, which was what Kayla said, upon further testing that Dr. Green had ordered after Chanel had the miscarriage, that they found the cause, that it was a molar pregnancy, which basically just means that the cells and I'm sorry, this is what it is. It's not a full size fetus yet. It's not it's a sack of cells. They were dividing abnormally. That's what it was.
Araceli, they have ran multiple tests on this on Chanel and this baby. And you mean to tell me at no point in time nothing came up?
Is there a gynecologist in the house? Does anybody want to explain this to Tony? Because I can sit here and
we don't want you to
do this till I'm blue in the face, but it feels like you're not gonna believe me.
So let me go to the comments because let me see here, because I think people were picking up what I was putting down. You trying to put on a Dr. WebMD hat and explain all the biological things. Where were people saying?
So Tony, you're saying it as a plot point that Dr. Green missed something, or he's up to something. That's what you're saying.
That 2 + 2 is not equaling 4.
So okay. I can understand. So on that point, I can concede. I can understand why you're confused, because the language is confusing and it does make it sound like he screwed up. But truly, the alternative is simpler. That it just happened.
He only came into the picture a week ago.
Right.
So if there was something, I'm just saying, if it was a plot point, it would probably go back to Kayla. If anyone.
It's just something just does not seem right. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like with the radiation thing, with the radiation thing and them running multiple tests on her and the baby,
they could have run all the tests they want. I'm telling you right now, there's a very limited amount of tests they could have run on the embryo she was carrying. I know they made it sound like that, but there's very little that could possibly be gained that early. Mm.
As my grandmother would say, something ain't right in the buttermilk. And that's all I'm going to say. Something seems off and something seems weird. I'm glad that it didn't have to do anything with the radiation. However, it just seems odd that to suddenly say that the baby was not viable day 1, and we had a week of the baby is fine.
The baby is fine so far as they know.
They didn't say as far as we know. They said the baby was fine.
That's implied.
It ain't implied.
For literally every pregnant person on the planet, it's implied.
Tony's like, if the doctor says you're good at month 1, it means your pregnancy's fine. It doesn't. It's an evolving thing. It's not. The doctor. It's like if the doctor says you go for you take a 2-year-old for a checkup. It doesn't mean the 2-year-old's fine for eternity. I mean,
very well put, Justin. Thank you. Yes.
The pregnancy changes over time. I see your point, Tony, about that signaling something that it could, that it's a plot point for for Dr. Green. I get that, but I just think it was a language thing. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something.
I agree.
Something. It just seems strange.
Yeah.
I get that pregnancies evolve.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if it wasn't viable day one, and y'all have been running multiple tests on this woman since she conceived the baby, because we didn't even know she was pregnant until she got the radiation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was trouble week 1. We all right week 2. We miscarriage week 3. Now it's like it wasn't viable at all. Wordy.
I just, yeah. Look, 1 in 4 pregnancies and a miscarriage. The end.
This feels very much like, hello, this is John Black. Sorry, John Black, you're actually not a DiMera. Click, cleaned up storyline.
Yeah. Okay, now that's a full-grown man. That's different.
I'm just saying. So. Moving on. Oh, is Steve to the rescue of this conversation?
I'm not sure Steve is rescuing much of anything.
Well, John, but
I don't think John needs rescuing. I think he just needs time. He needs a break.
Yeah.
But also, Kayla is tired of Steve's shenanigans.
I know. This whole time when he was like, I'm going to go find you, I was like, oh God, Kayla is like going to kill you, dude. Like, stop. You literally just got not out of prison, but you got off the hook for.
I really want Kayla to have a scene like, I'm sorry, thank you, Marianne Carter, for the super sticker for the $5. We appreciate you. You guys are more than welcome to donate to the cause. You remember American Dream, the Jackson 5 movie? Where Angela Bassett, who played Katherine Jackson, it was a scene where Joseph was yelling for the kids in the middle of the night. And she was like, what are you? These kids have traveled all over the world. What are you going to do, Joseph? Get them up and get a switch off a tree. Bring it in here so you can beat them with it. Go to bed, Joseph. Go to bed. I feel like that's what Kayla wants to say to Steve. It's kind of like, you just got shot by Constantine doing the most. You just got off from, and charges cleared from you helping a convicted felon break out of prison. Sit down, Steve, and go to bed.
Johnny Clay Huxtable there.
Stop trying to have big fun with Black Patch. Well, let's see. While you were in the hospital, you had donuts.
That's a big fun.
Oh,
If anybody with half a gnat's brain, I love that. Anyway,
Steve.
Well, he tries.
But. Yeah, I do like I love his scenes with Jada. They're always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Where she knows that he knows and he knows that she knows, and
right.
But nobody's talking, so. And then he goes to Marlena and says, "So I know that she knows that you know." And everybody knows, but nobody's talking, and it's fine because I want this to be over.
Yeah. My favorite part of the conversation though was, I think Marlena said she has the card, and I was like, why?
Someone else tweeted about that. They were like, you know, Constantine's gone or whatever. Y'all know the card changes to the point. Like, why have it?
Yeah. It's like, burn it.
I really want the card. I want to add it to our knickknacks. I want it so bad. If anyone sees on Etsy or anything that has that card, please let me know. And then at Day of Days, you know what I would do? Get Drake Hogeston to sign it.
That
And then
sounds
if I ever saw the guy who played Constantine.
Oh, John.
John.
Cornelis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever saw John, I'd be like, can you sign it too? But before, actually, while asking him, I'll be like, hi, John. Can you sign this card? All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. We have exhumed the body. They're going to bring up that Abigail's body.
Well, there's only one way to find out for sure.
I just feel like it should just be standard practice in Salem, just to like go up to the body and go. Like, make sure everything is confirmed.
Mm-hmm. I did like that Kayla mentioned when he was like, oh, is there any possible way she could be alive? And then Kayla was like, well, I wasn't the last person to see her. She's like, there's also the process of embalming the body and the funeral director. Mm-hmm. And remember, that's how Tony pulled off the New Salem, was all through the funerals and the coroner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a nice little like.
Do you think Abigail, the body went? You know what? That's a moment where Kayla or someone should have asked, who had the body? If you're Black, you understand that question. Anybody, or maybe any person of color, whenever someone passes, there's always, who got the body? Mm-hmm. Oh, that funeral home.
I.e., who's doing the funeral?
Yeah. Oh, they gonna make them look real nice. Yes, they are. I wonder what they're gonna find.
They're taking their time with this one. I mean, we got another shot of the CCTV security cam of Anna Lynn's character.
It's kind of like, but it's also kind of like how many times are you gonna watch it?
Mm-hmm. I thought this part was nice though. I did like that they had sort of like a real world thing of Chad say like, I should know how my wife moves. But she's also been dead 2 years. Is it my conscience, like maybe projecting that onto this woman who could be just a random woman, either locked up somewhere or just footage of her. But I like that he said like, I'm her husband. I should know. I should be able to look at that screen and say, Abby doesn't walk like that, or she doesn't hold her head like that. Or I like the fact that he was like doubting that or calling that into question a bit. I thought that was kind of a nice twist to him just staring at it for a week now or so.
My only confusion is why he would need to go to Paulina to request the exhumation.
She's the mayor.
But what does that have to do with Abigail's grave? He's her husband. He's next of kin. I would expect that would be his right to do that.
Maybe it's like an ordinance or something, or
I mean, the only rationale I could see for that is maybe if he needs it expedited or something, permits or something. But my understanding is that that's his wife. It's so it's his right to do.
It could be that, like an expedited thing. It may be, kind of like a process.
He says you have to get approval from the mayor to exhume a body, though.
I guess.
I mean, it's Salem.
Yeah, right.
He could have went and dug it up himself.
Right.
When's the last time somebody did that? Oh,
is it Will?
Yeah, it was Will. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ms. Mariah, I see your message that doctors are human, and I'm glad your life was saved. But I was talking in terms of storyline. Trust me, I have realized, like, in dealing with people and professions, these are still people, and not all people are the best at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's a very small percentage. But in the case of Salem, wording, we're very wordy. Wordy word. Word. What I'm mad about is we have been sitting here anticipating this whole time of Annalyn McCord coming onto the show, and we only got 2 seconds of her. Where is she?
Not even, because everything was blurry and looked like it was footage, like 100-year-old footage.
And it's very much like, welcome to Days, Annalyn McCord. And it's like, we saw your shoulder. Where are you?
We're going to see it 2 months from now. Reintroduce her.
Yeah, I mean, guys, look, her announcement, her casting announcement has been around for a while. We could have waited until we saw her full face. We waited this long.
Yeah.
Not
right.
Dylan Matthews getting on when he found the footage, Tony.
Leave it to Dylan Matthews.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go to our last tidbit, which is this one time at lacrosse camp. Okay, now listen, I know that I have yet to understand why Tate is after Holly, right? I have learned to just accept that they're a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Seems like a lot.
I think what is frustrating is at some point, can these parents and these kids just have a conversation?
Yeah.
Because now it seems like the relationship is like, imagine if they were just like, yeah, be with her. Would they be broken up by now because of teenage love? Or are they lasting together this long because the parents keep saying, no, we're going to send you to lacrosse camp. What do I need to go to lacrosse camp for? When did we even know that Tate played lacrosse?
I know.
Why? Like, and now we're going to run away? Now we're going to have Aaron step in as Tate. Like, Aaron, what if you hurt yourself and they got to call your emergency contact?
I mean, look, I will give it to Tate. No kids thinking about emergency contact. I will give it to Tate. This is a much smarter plan. It's not the smartest, but this is a much smarter plan than, the standard, we're teenagers in love and we're going to go run away into the night with absolutely zero plan and zero money.
I agree. Yeah.
This is him saying, no, we just want to spend the summer together. It's a definite amount of time. He has a decoy in place, a very willing decoy. Yeah, so it's, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be hiccups somewhere, but thus far it's not the worst plan I've ever heard.
There's already a hiccup. Her name is Rachel.
Oh, Angela.
Rachel walked in and said, what y'all talking about? What y'all doing?
Imagine this whole thing.
I'm just going to call your mom.
Rachel.
Yeah. It's like,
I kind of love it.
Like, you little, go sit down.
Truly, though, Aaron and Rachel were the most endearing part of this storyline this week. I'm really, really starting to like Aaron.
Yeah.
He's that endearing friend. You know what the moment that got me was when he just smacked Tate over the head with the brochure. It's like, there you go. Now, if you could hit him like a little bit harder and knock some more sense into him so that he wouldn't go through this with this plan, that would be great. But, I know it's counterintuitive to your own needs.
Yeah, I kind of agree. When they first did the whole, like, we're going to run away, I was like, oh, God, please don't do the storyline. And then as the week went on, it sort of turned into, we're going to spend the summer together. Then this camp came up, send Aaron. He was like, I'll find a place to stay around Salem. And I immediately thought, oh God, is he going to be in the DiMera dungeon down there? Is he going to camp out down there for the summer kind of a thing? But I was like, you know what? Not a bad plan. It really isn't that bad of a plan.
Is he going to, no, does he have any connection to Sierra? and be like, hey, that cabin you and Ben fell in love at, where's that at?
Oh my gosh. Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's cousins. Tate is Brady's. Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which second.
Whatever. No, they're both. They're one-sided cousins through.
They're cousins. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, through
both. But yes, they do.
Sides,
yes, they do have a connection.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll see if it's the summer of love or the summer of mess. That has been your week of Days of Our Lives. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are venturing over to our favorite part of the show, as if all the show isn't our favorite parts. But we're venturing over to the favorite part of our show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
There we go. All right, now listen, I love a baddie, and I love a woman who knows herself and knows when to pull the plug on all stunt shows and shenanigans. And for me, this week, that was Miss Gabby Hernandez, honey. That last few seconds where she was like, baby, I don't even want to acknowledge what EJ has done because I know he was up to no good. Oh, you want me to acknowledge him? Oh, okay. That ain't your baby. It's Eric's. I done told everybody at a press conference. Typical Gabby. So, Sherry Jimenez, Gabby Hernandez, you get, for spilling the tea in the best way possible, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
That's probably the fastest 3 Snaps Award I ever gave somebody on days.
I thought you would have a harder time picking because there was just a lot of good moments this week.
There were a lot of good moments. I will say Finley, Rachel was runner-up. She was. Because the way she walked in with that attitude, being like, let me call your mama and tell her what you're doing. I said,
right.
Gracious. All right. And now it's time for... Wait, what is it time for?
Those were the days.
All right, everyone. Take you back to July 2nd, 2014, where Sammy and EJ remarried. This was all a part of a bigger plot. Right after this, she had him arrested for insider trading, so she can take over DiMera. And because of the infamous affair he had with Abigail, this was also the birth of one of our favorite storylines of all time. This was the birth of Sammy and Kate teaming up and taking over DiMera and running it and burying the hatchet and becoming friends. So yeah, all back to July 2nd, 2014, where Sammy and EJ remarried.
And I didn't mean to take you out. I meant to take the picture out.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
And now it's time for It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift, I am giving love to my girl, Abigail Klein, in a moment I call Stephanie's WTF look, or the face that we all made when we found out Connie was Lee's killer.
Yes. Agreed. You did what now? Say huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I got to give some love to Abigail Klein. I don't think we give her enough love for her facial expressions, but she's got them.
This is true. And that was It's a Gift. And now it's time for News and Gossip.
Yes, in the tweet, post, message, article heard around the world, we finally got confirmation in an appropriate, timely announcement that this year's Day of Days is happening Saturday, November 2nd, 2024. Its usual home now, the Peacock Theater in LA at LA Live, and so happens to be hosted by three-time host, returning host, Mr. Tony Moore here. Yes. And this will be a big one. This one we are celebrating 60 years of days. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we are in for some interesting changes and a lot going on that day. And as we always say, this is the event to come to get the most bang for your buck. If you
It's a free event.
Free event, yes. If you are someone who's always like, oh, I want, when these not the Zooms, but the events come around and they can't come to your city or you can't get to them, this is one of the ones where it's beneficial to spend the money, come to LA if you don't live nearby, stay a few days, participate in Day of Days. It's most of the day. It's also, and we'll talk about this a little later when other things come up, but because Day of Days happens, other events around that weekend also spring up. So it's a great way to just participate and have a full weekend of Days of Our Lives, get to see, take pictures, socialize with, have some fun with some of your favorite actors. So again, I tell you, Day of Days, it's worth it to come out. It will be hot, but it will be worth it. Yeah, it's always a good time.
And speaking of, because I found this very interesting, so many fans were like, can you bring them to insert city here?
Yeah.
I just would like to point out that if they were to bring the entire cast of Days of Our Lives to insert the city you want them to come to, that would be costly. It costs way less to have you and your friend travel from your city that you requested them in to Los Angeles. Some people have been like, I live so far, I don't know how to get there. Where there's car, there's a train, there's an airplane. They all come to Los Angeles, California. I was very surprised at some of the responses. And sometimes, listen, if it's not in your budget for this year, it's not in your budget. I will say some of the airlines do have deals like for the season.
Yes.
So I think there'll be like a 40% off fall sale where you get 40% off regular flights and all that kind of stuff. So, someone just said Southwest has great deals. So just keep looking. As Justin said, it is a very great event to come to, and your chance and opportunity not only to come to this event, but any of the other events that spring up as well. So take advantage, come out to LA, spend a couple of days here. I would suggest if you were like, when should I travel? I would say Thursday and maybe leave late Sunday or even Monday.
Yeah. And again, guys, it's the most concentrated event of Day Stars. We don't have an official lineup. We will tell you when that gets finalized, but it is usually most of the cast attends. So you are not going to get that many people for that many stars for a fan event all at one time in one concentrated area, in addition to the other events that will be happening that weekend, because they know people are going to travel and come to LA for Day of Days. So it's just, it's worth it to spend the money. Yeah.
Yes. And I believe Eric Martzoff has already confirmed that they are planning a Day Players show for the day after Day of Days. So if you want to come, make a whole weekend out of it, guys. It's LA. There's plenty of hotels. There's lots of cheap fares. Fly into Burbank. It's cheaper.
It's quicker.
It's cheaper. It's quicker. There's plenty of ways to do this, and we will be there.
Yes.
Come see us.
Yes. I also think the Day Players are performing that same day. That Saturday.
Yeah. They had the past 2 years.
At 8:00. Yeah. Last year they did it the next day.
Yeah.
This year.
You're saying got it. Not part of the show. You're saying
I think
afterward.
Yeah, they said I think they're still confirming a location.
The Bourbon Room.
Yeah, the Bourbon Room. Okay, you're saying that. Yeah. So we'll be there. Yeah. Yes, and as we said, it's the kickoff. It's the kickoff celebration to the 60th anniversary.
Yes. Yes. Because people were like 60 years, and they were doing the math. It's like I believe this year starts the 60th season.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like your
yeah.
birthday. Like we celebrate our birthdays at the end of the year when it's the beginning of the year that you're doing it.
Yeah, so it's kicking off the 60th celebrations, which will coincide with at this point we're going to be right into going into the Bill Hayes memorial. So you know how every year they drop a trailer. Guess what's probably going to be in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I just predict based on everything that is coming out, and again we have no details. I don't think they've confirmed people or anything like that, but just based on everything that we've just laid out for you guys, I predict this is not going to be not one to miss.
Yeah. Tony, you have a request here.
I will agree with that. Spot me, Tony. I'm good for it. I can't.
Now that your name's on the promo, Mr. Host, you got
I can't spot myself. But you know what though? I can get you in for free.
Oh god.
All right. Moving right along.
All right. Next up.
God.
Justin, you're gonna do this one.
Hmm?
Justin, you're gonna do this one.
What's next?
What's next?
Oops. Sorry, guys. Little social media fun. This was James Reynolds and Jack A. Harry. They visited today's studio and did a fun little game of Abe or Paulina. This is when they sat down and asked questions. Just kind of little trivia questions. Who's sort of funnier? Who is the person to depend on? Who's the person you want sort of ride or die? And just sort of them. You get a little insight into how they feel about their characters and their relationship with each other. So go check it out. It's on the Days Instagram page.
Yes. Next up, we have a bunch of casting news, starting with Days alum Ari Zucker. She has an upcoming film called Memek. Details are being kept under wraps, but what we do know is it was directed by Christopher Polaha. It's a horror movie centered around a ventriloquist, and Ari was nice enough to post a little behind-the-scenes footage. So we'll let you know as we get details on when that will be premiering and where. And next up, Cherry Jimenez's new movie, Guns at Moses, recently premiered at the LA Jewish Film Festival. So this is a story about a small town rabbi who becomes a gunslinger when his community is violently attacked. We will let you know as soon as we get details of when that movie becomes public as well. And then next up, Paul Telfer's new audio drama series, which premieres this week. It is called Unsinkable, and it's kind of like a cutting-edge story with Brian Cox and John Malkovich premiering. It premieres July 10th on the platform Wondery Plus. And by new, it's an audio drama series. So basically think of audiobook with sound effects kind of a thing. So go to Wondery Plus for details on that. I believe Paul is in 7 out of 11 episodes, I believe. So this is kind of like a new thing. So if you're interested in like the summer vibes of just like the audio dramas, this would be a good one to get into. And breaking news as of this morning, Camila Banus is up for a new movie called Cake by Eric Juarez, and which she plays a mother who strives to make the best birthday for her son while overcoming misadventures, financial constraints, and high expectations. She's on set right now.
Nice. Next up, we have some Farrah Fath news. Haven't heard from her in a little while. She is producing this 4-part sort of docu-series. A little bit about like her family, primarily about her husband, Phil Galfond, who is a big 3-time poker winning champion. He's also a poker coach now. It basically chronicles his life / their life, highs and lows of being a poker player. It's 4 episodes. It's on their YouTube page, Phil Galfond. Excuse me. People may not know this, but ever since I want to say, was it One Life to Live went off? I think 2014, 2015. Farrah has kind of been doing poker playing professionally, and has been doing it primarily. And she's in the seven figures now in terms of winning. So she, they're turning this into sort of a family business. And I mean, hopefully we see her act soon, and she's back on Days and all that. But yeah, this is a interesting sort of turn for her as an actress. But yeah, so go check it out. The first episode has already aired. Then the other three are going to drop every Friday for the next month. So yeah, which if you're interested in professional poker playing or to see how people actually make money being professional poker players, go check this out. It's interesting. Each episode is not entirely too long. They're anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes each episode. So go check it out.
Where can I check it out?
Got their YouTube page, the Phil Galfond.
All right. And last but not last but not least, but we have some celebratory news. Days alum, currently on GH, Kate Manzi has engaged to her fiance, Matt McInnes. Look at that gorgeous emerald cut. I purposely asked for the shot with the ring nice and big as she's eating a sandwich, which is perfectly describes Kate as we know her. So congratulations to Kate and Matt.
Yes, next up we have some reminders, primarily fan events and Zooms going on. The first one is with our friend Stacey Hyduke. She is doing a new fundraiser Zoom for the music festival rights to upcoming show we've been telling you about called Brand New Cadillac. This one takes place Sunday, July 21st. It's hosted by Melissa and Michelle. Tickets and info, yes, you go to Stacey's Instagram page at Stacey_Hyduke. Then we have, speaking of some more Zooms, these ones are birthday/cocktail ones. We have the first one, Susan Seaforth Hayes and Eric Martzorf are doing a joint birthday Zoom together, which should be fun on Sunday, July 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have a new one announced this week with Lindsay Godfrey. She's actually doing a birthday Zoom. And the lovely, of course, co-star Mr. Paul Telfer is joining her on that one. And that one is taking place Sunday, July 28th. Then we have our Hot Men of Days Nashville event we've been telling you about this year, September 28th to 29th. In addition to the men there, we also have the concert we've been telling you about with Carson. It's an acoustic concert with Carson Boatman and joined by Scott Reeves the following
Hold
day,
that thought,
Sunday.
Because guess who is frozen?
Who?
Oh, we almost made it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we almost made it.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting down the wire here. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going forward. So, yes, all those between the Susan Seaforth Hayes ones, the Lindsay Godfrey ones, and the Hot Men of Days Nashville, you can go to eventbrite.ca/Star Image Entertainment. And then, of course, we're talking about our friends at the Day Players, in addition to new concerts in North Carolina and Virginia Beach. They've been adding those private dinners in New York and New Jersey. I'm guessing they are going to go all the way to Day of Days now, since we have a little, not official, but some confirmation that they are going to be playing Day of Days, whether it's Saturday night or the Sunday afterward. We will, of course, keep you informed. And all tickets and information you can find at thedayplayersband.com.
I just checked. They're touring like all the way until the weekend before. So
yeah, they've been on this almost now 2-year tour, or this will be their third time, right? Yeah, the third.
Yeah, third year at Davis.
Yeah, that they're doing it. So yeah, this fun little kind of fun garage band, something to do as a hobby has turned into something really cool and great. So yeah, go check them out. Again, we've seen them, I don't know how many times now we've seen them as a group. So go check them out. It's always a fun time, little mix of music, which is great. They're really good musicians, and sort of soap story time. And it's just a fun, personality driven, really fun night with the guys. So go check it out if you can. And then we have some fan events from Samantha and Friends we've been telling you about. We have the Golden Age of Hollywood one happening this year, September 14th to 15th. And then we have the Winter Wonderland one, which is announced for next year, May 3rd through 4th, 2025. All tickets and info, you can go to samanthafriends.org. And then last but not least, we have our Camp Dream event. Again, Camp Dream is an organization for kids with physical and developmental disabilities. This one is a fundraiser fan event for the organization, headed by Patricia Darbo and Greg Vaughn. And their event is Soaps in the South, happening October 5th through 6th of this year in Alpharetta, Georgia. All tickets and information, you can go to campdreamga.org/events for that one.
All right, now that we're back,
full slope there.
Let's quickly do a recap of where I left off.
How many days Nashville?
And those tickets can be found.
Yep.
At...
Okay. Again, eventbrite.ca/Star Image Entertainment. Then the day players can find them tickets and information at thedayplayersband.com. And the Samantha and Friends events, both the Golden Age of Hollywood and Winter Wonderland, tickets and info, you can find it at samanthafriends.org. And the Camp Dream event with Patricia and Greg Vaughn, Soaps in the South, October 5th through 6th again, campdreamga.org/events.
And there's those people. Perfect.
Yeah.
And guess who's not frozen anymore? Me. And speaking of not being frozen, let's take a look at what's going to happen this week on Peacock's exclusive Days of Our Lives.
We know who killed Lee.
No, you don't.
The holiday's over.
EJ is not Jude's father. Eric is. This is true. Say something!
But the fireworks
You want to dig up my daughter's body.
are just getting started.
You cannot tell my mother.
You knew, you bastard! He's your son.
And the end of an era.
Did I ever tell you how much I love you?
Bill Hayes' final episode, Days of Our Lives.
Oh, they gave us all that drama only to give us a tearjerker.
I know.
I'm not ready.
I'm just very happy that Ari was still there to close out this this storyline. I think it was very important.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a week next week is going to be.
Yeah.
And guess who's going to be here to talk about it? Us. So make sure you tune in next Sunday for a full dish of Dishin Days, where we're going to talk about this coming week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. But before we head out, Justin Lee Hareld, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And make sure you show some love to our Michael Mattis, who is still on hiatus over at ML Mattis on Twitter and on Instagram. And you can find little old me on all platforms at Lounging with Tony. And don't forget to find all of us on Facebook, Dishin Days Show, and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another full dish of Dishin Days, where we're serving up a discussion and recap of your favorite hit soap opera Days of Our Lives. Until then, have a wonderful, safe weekend. Hope you guys had a happy 4th of July. Many of us were celebrating 100 years of Caesar salad for many reasons. Enjoy yourselves, everyone. Until next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.